Welcome back to Fireside Fears. If you enjoy chilling, immersive horror stories told in the dark, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let the fire crackle, let the night settle in, and let's begin. The things that crawl out of the radio. I don't listen to the radio anymore. Not after what happened last winter. Not after discovering that some frequencies aren't meant for us. It started the night the blizzard hit my town. One of those suffocating, whiteout storms that swallow sound and turn the world into a blank, frozen void. I lived alone then, still do now. So the crackling fireplace and the static-filled old radio I'd inherited from my uncle kept me company. The radio was ancient, the kind with glowing tubes behind a mesh grill, the dial sweeping across unlabeled frequencies. My uncle collected oddities, but the radio was his prize. Before he died, he warned me, "If you ever hear whispering, turn it off immediately, no matter what it says." I thought he was being dramatic. I wish he had been. The first night, the static that moved. During the storm, all normal stations were gone, just static, drifting in and out like breathing. I turned the dial slowly, bored and half asleep, when the static began to pulse, almost rhythmically. Then, it shifted. It wasn't white noise anymore. It was layered, as if something inside the static was trying to crawl through it. I froze, because underneath it, I heard a voice. Not talking, not singing, just whispering. I leaned closer. The whisper grew sharper. "Lift the latch." I pushed back immediately. My uncle's warning flashed through my mind, but I convinced myself it had to be some weird signal bouncing off the storm. People hear patterns in noise all the time. That's what I told myself. Then, my front door rattled. Not like it was hit by the wind. No. Something knocked. 3 slow, dragging knocks. I waited. The whispering from the radio still threading itself between the static. Another knock. This time harder. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. After a minute, the knocking stopped, but the whispering didn't. I unplugged the radio. The whispering continued for 3 full seconds after the power died. That was the moment I realized something was wrong. Something very, very wrong. The second night, the voice that knew my name. The next day, the world was swallowed in snow. Roads closed, phones dead, power lines down. I was trapped in the house, just me and that damned radio, sitting like a crouched animal on my shelf. I kept my distance. Didn't touch it, didn't even look at it. But halfway through the night, it turned on by itself. The tubes inside glowed orange. The speaker crackled with static. And then I heard it. My name. Alex. It said it slowly, like trying the shape of the word for the first time. I backed into the kitchen, knocking over a chair. My heart was hammering so hard it drowned out the storm outside. The voice spoke again, clearer this time. "Let me in. It's cold." Every door and window in the house slammed once, hard, like something was hitting them all at the same time. I unplugged the radio again. This time, the whispering continued for 10 seconds. And it laughed. Long, static-filled laughter that sounded like someone gargling broken glass, I threw a blanket over it and shoved it into the basement. But that didn't stop it. All night, I heard footsteps pacing below me. Not in the house. Inside the walls. Behind the vents. Along the floorboards. Soft footsteps. Wrong footsteps. Like something walked on too many limbs. And in the center of it all, beneath the house, faint but unmistakable, the radio was whispering my name. The third night, scratching from the inside. The storm outside was brutal, wind howling like a living thing, but inside, the house was worse. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard more sounds from the basement. Scratching, dragging, something tapping the radio's metal casing. Around 3 a.m., I heard a new sound. Breathing. Not mine. Not human. Slow, wet, hungry breaths rising through the vents. I grabbed a flashlight and crept down the basement steps one by one. Halfway down, the radio's old dial clicked loudly, turning on its own. The basement lit up orange from its tubes, casting tall, warped shadows across the walls. But the radio wasn't where I left it. It was in the center of the room, facing me. The whispering spilled out of it like a leaking secret. You plugged me in once. You called me. Don't close the door. I bolted upstairs and shoved a chair under the knob. That's when something touched the basement door from the other side. Not knocking this time. Scraping, like claws dragging lightly across the wood. Then the voice, no longer a whisper, spoke right against the other side of the door. I'm almost through. The wood began to bulge inward, like something was pressing against it. The fourth night, the thing that crawled out. The storm outside ended in the morning, but the house remained silent. Too silent. I packed a bag, grabbed my keys, and ran for the truck. When I opened the front door, I stopped dead. Footprints in the snow. Not human footprints. Not animal footprints. Long, bent, twisted, as if something crawled on elbows and knees and too many fingers. They led straight from my basement window to my front door, and then vanished into the woods. I didn't go back inside for hours. When I finally forced myself to check the basement, the radio was gone. Only the blanket remained, torn and shredded in long, curling strips. The floorboards were deep with grooves, claw marks. Something had pulled itself across the concrete and up the stairs. I called the police. They found nothing. But that night, I heard the radio again. Not in my house. Not even close. It was outside. In the woods. Moving between the trees. A faint orange glow flickering deeper and deeper into the darkness. And between the static, once in a while, drifting across the frozen air, you opened the door. The fifth night. The final broadcast. I haven't seen the radio since, but the whispers still come through my vents, sometimes through my phone, sometimes through the pipes. Once I heard it hum through the shower water. The worst part, it knows where I am. It always knows where I am. Last night, as I tried to sleep, the static came again. So faint I thought I was imagining it. Then, the voice spoke. Not a whisper. Not a plea. something closer to a promise. I found a new door, followed by 3 slow knocks from inside my bedroom wall. I'm leaving the house tonight, but I know it won't matter. Once you hear a voice from the other side of the frequencies, once you listen long enough, it knows how to find you. It knows how to crawl out. The fire's burning low now. If you enjoyed the story, stay close. There are many more to tell. Until next time, sleep with one eye open. You're never truly alone when you're near the fire.